Hello, it's Ashley. So I'm going to be doing a energy reading for the week of July 29th through August 4th. Um, First of all, like with the energy that I'm feeling today, and just recently over the last couple days, ever since like the full moon and the eclipse, just like a huge heart opening, and my heart chakra is like on full blast. I can feel it like it's so strong. And what I'm feeling, and like especially with like the Leo season, I don't know, I really do like, I see a lion, and I hear the words like gentle giant, and so that's what I feel with the energy, is that it's like it's actually kind of gentle energy, and it's like an uplifting energy, um, but it is like a powerful transformative energy, but it's not gonna feel like so heavy is what I hear. Like it's not so heavy. Um it's more gentle, because the heart is opening, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So the first question that I asked is, what do we need to know for this week? So I pulled building blocks with deceit. So that's what I definitely feel with like the heart opening, and just I feel like as this energy comes in, like I said, it's like gentle, but it is very like powerful. And I really felt that with the full moon. I just felt like the energy was super powerful. So I just feel like um with the heart opening, it's also like um our heart chakra like affects also like our lower chakras, which is like our root chakra and our sacral chakra and our solar plexus chakra. And I feel like those have been like healing over the past like few weeks. We've been really dealing with like a lot of the lower chakras, like the root chakra and um, the sacral chakra. I feel like a lot has been coming up with that. And our heart chakra really affects those lower chakras. And so with our heart opening, I also feel like um, especially since it comes like the building blocks with the deceit, I feel like a lot like a veil is being lifted. And so people are kind of seeing right through the lies. And that comes with like seeing through the lies like in our society and things we've been taught for a really long time, even since childhood, for lifetimes, honestly. And so I feel like we're learning to um, see that, and then like make changes based off that. And like I hear like people are wanting to change, and they're like feeling this need to like move. And I don't mean like move locations. I just mean like to do something different, like to do something different. And so I feel like with the deceit, it's like where you're lying to yourself, kind of like noticing where you self-sabotage yourself, where you tell yourself lies to keep you like small, or to keep you safe, or to keep you like stuck or comfortable. But change isn't about like, I hear it's like not about diving deep or head first. Change is about like implementing little things every day to get you where you want to be. So I feel like with building blocks, it's just about recognizing where you lie to yourself, and recognizing the lies you've believed about yourself over your lifetime, or since I feel like a lot of stuff is coming up with your childhood and like past hurts, and not even just past hurts from this lifetime, but past hurts from other lifetimes. And like, so that heart chakra is like really being blasted right now. And this is a really good thing. But so I feel like the overall energy is like just recognizing where you're lying to yourself. Where are you like self-sabotaging? Where are you like um just recognize like how you feel. Like maybe if you feel a lot of fear, I feel like a lot of fear is coming up. I especially feel that like because the heart chakra is being blasted, and for a lot of people that associate fear with love, I was one of those people. Like it can be very intense, and so this love you're feeling is, it's gonna seem like it's scary, or like frightening, but it's really just love. And I had to tell myself that all the time. Like I would like freak out and have these moments, and I would just be like, Ashley, it's just love. That's all it is. Like, and so, but when you associate fear with love, or like pain with love, then it can be scary to open up your heart, and to really like show yourself and be more authentic, and show your love to other people. I feel like a lot of people don't show their love just because like they don't want to get hurt, or they're scared of what the other person is gonna say, or like rejection and stuff like that. So the overall message I feel like is just recognize and start to become aware of where you lie to yourself and where you like try to keep yourself small, where you or like maybe if other people are lying to you and like something feels wrong, like really noticing what you feel when you're around certain people, and you'll start to be able to tell when people are lying to you, just because you can tell by your intuition will be able to tell you. So that takes like practice, like developing your intuition and just becoming aware of how you're feeling in different situations or how you feel when you're talking to different people. And so that will make a huge difference. And then you'll be able to tell, like, then you'll be able to learn how to like set boundaries and, like you're going to have to like cut other people like out of your life, if like they're not adding to your like if they're just really full of like negativity or they don't believe in you, it can be really hard to believe in yourself and stay positive when you're surrounded by people that don't feel the same, so it's really about like I feel like recognizing your feelings and what they're telling you and like going from there and like making little changes. Like I said, it's not about diving head first, it's just about like stepping your toes in and your feet and your ankles and your calves, and like you just kind of have to work your way up. It's not about like, it's really about building like a solid foundation. But you have to recognize where you're lying to yourself and where you're stopping yourself from like growing or changing or moving, like I said. And so yeah, that's the overall energy for the week, is building blocks with deceit. So then the next question that I asked is, what is going on with the masculine energy this week? And I pulled exchanging gifts. And that card's like really about like giving and receiving anything, like not just love, but just giving and receiving, the law of giving and receiving. And then that comes with anxiety. So what I feel like for like the masculine energy or people that resonate more with their masculine energy, what I feel like especially with the heart opening, with the heart chakra like being upgraded and just feeling this love, is like they're having a hard time understanding what they're feeling. And I feel like the masculine is sort of feeling like overwhelmed. I feel like that might be why it comes with the anxiety. But I just feel like they're really learning to implement like their feminine energy and learning how to like give and receive in a more balanced way. I feel like a lot of the masculine has always felt like they're always giving, or maybe a lot of the masculine, they've overgiven, they overgive all the time. And so and this has also been like they've always been like the provider, or like our sense of security, or like we've always put a lot of pressure on them to like provide and to like give. So I feel like maybe they're having a really hard time receiving, and that's coming with a lot of anxiety. One thing that I did notice though, I just noticed this though, but this card is 27, 2 plus 7 is 9, and then this card is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I feel like that's an ending. So this is something like completing like a cycle. And I feel like maybe also they're having a hard time like expressing themselves. So I feel like that's more what they're having a hard time expressing how they feel. I feel like they have a lot of feelings, but over a really long time, men have been like taught to like repress their feelings and not always say exactly how they feel, maybe because they'll be made fun of, or maybe because like they don't want to be seen as like they want to be seen as tough, or like just not their. I think they're learning how to show their emotions and express themselves more openly, more in a giving way. But I feel that they have a lot of fear about expressing themselves, and I feel like this stems from like a lot of like society. Like maybe there's a lot of men that need to grieve, and that might come up with the heart chakra, because it's going to kind of like blast everything out. And with the 9s on these cards, I do feel like this energy is like I said, it's gentle, but it's like a purging. It's like getting out all the old like debris, and like, so this is going to cause like, I feel like it's going to go up and down, like emotion wise, and like getting that sadness out, getting that grief, and it's just repressed sadness. It's just repressed like grief. And so I feel like that might be coming up a lot for like the masculine energy. Like I said, so it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, just if you resonate more. And then this can also affect like your own, like we both have masculine and feminine energy within us, both male and female. So this can apply to your masculine energy as well within yourself, not just like a man in your life or a masculine in your life. And so I feel like it's just like, it's just like like I said, with the heart opening, it's like kind of gonna push things out. And like, so they're gonna want to express themselves. I feel like they're kind of like to a point where they can't help it. They have to get it out, if not, I feel like it's going to turn into a lot of rage, a lot of anger. This has gone on for a really long time. That happens to men a lot when they repress their feelings, when they repress their sadness. And there are a lot of men that have experienced a lot of trauma and never really like learned how to deal with it in a healthy way emotionally is what I feel. And so I feel like it's like also about like recognizing this anxiety and this fear and noticing when it's coming from a past hurt, like if you're making up a scenario or if you're like, if you're stuck in the past, or if a lot of like, I feel like a lot of repressed emotions are coming up to be like purged out, like a lot of repressed emotions. So like maybe a lot of anger. I just feel like they're having a hard time showing their emotions, expressing their emotions. And it's causing a lot of fear within, like a lot like, and because like the masculine energy is very logical, they might be like stuck in their head a lot. This causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. And so I feel like they do want to express themselves and they do want to give, but they might have also like fear of receiving. And so they may fear like they'll be hurt. They may fear that they be like rejected. They may fear like, and this could be based off past hurts from like different feminines in their life. It could be like from a mother or a sister or like a past girlfriend or a wife. It could be anything that these past hurts are coming up. And so they may want to like express how they're feeling, but they have to be able to like feel safe with somebody, like a trusted person, like another partner, or just like, like if it is like a husband and wife, like they just need to be able to feel safe to like go somewhere and talk to somebody or like express these emotions in a healthy way. Because there is a lot of fear, especially like with society and not allowing men to like feel their feelings, not letting them cry, calling them babies, calling them pussies, And so this is going to come up, I feel like. And so they are wanting to express themselves more in a more authentic way, but they just have a lot of fear about it. And so I feel like that's normal. That's like what I said with like the gentle energy. And it's just about taking small steps, like just expressing yourself a little bit in a different way than you never have before. Like just like allowing yourself to open up just a little bit more. And it doesn't have to be like drastic. You don't have to jump off, the cliff head first. It's just like putting your toes in and like doing it like in a small way, like any small way. Expressing yourself in any small way will help ease the anxiety, and it'll start to give you like more confidence in expressing your feelings and your emotions. Because I feel like that's what's coming up for the masculine, is having fear around expressing and showing who they truly are and showing their emotions. And so then I asked, what is coming up for the feminine this week? And I pulled To the Sea with Broken Heart. And I feel this, so I feel like what this message here is, so To the Sea is just about releasing resistance and just learning to flow with these emotions that you're feeling. And with the Broken Heart, I just feel like this is like the past hurts, also a 9 card. So I feel like this is also about like there's going to be like a lot of, with the heart opening, it's going to be a lot of purging the old emotions, a lot of repressed emotions. And a lot of women allow their past hurts to like dictate their present relationship. And so maybe they don't even realize they're doing it. And this past hurt, this could be from like past boyfriends, any past masculine pain you tend to project onto like your spouse, or like if you're like single and you're dating, like you can start to attract men that are going to teach you what it is that you're still holding on to from the past. And so like we don't really realize this as humans, but on a soul level, that's what we attract, is this energy we're sending out. So if you still have a lot of like past pain from a masculine, from any sort of situation, I feel like for the feminine that's coming up is to notice that you're having these feelings, and these feelings are going to be triggered. I feel like I especially feel this, yeah, with women. Like I feel like even with men too, because it's the energy within us. So our feminine energy is going to like be triggered by old past wounds. I feel like it's about recognizing that they're just past hurts, and that they're not happening now, but because maybe there's a lot of emotional trauma, a lot of emotional abandonment from when we were children. Like our parents couldn't always be there emotionally, and so we didn't learn how to be there for ourselves emotionally, so we don't know how to deal with our emotions, and that can be, it can be overwhelming if you don't recognize that these emotions that you're having, or these feelings that you're having, are being triggered by something from the past, to have you recognize now and to deal with them in a different way. So I feel like that way is just about like letting it flow. If you have something, if let's say maybe like your boyfriend triggers you and you start to cry, and maybe you just start crying and crying and crying, and then you're crying so much you don't even remember what you're crying for. I feel like it's just about like letting yourself feel, and letting yourself feel this hurt and this heartbreak, because that's what it feels like. That's a broken heart, and I feel that in my heart chakra, like a lot of like heaviness. And so like I said, especially because we're ascending, like we need to purge out the heaviness, we need to purge out the old so we can make room for the new. And so I feel like a lot of emotions are going to be coming up, but it's like just about learning to like go with the flow. If you experience like just moving through it in a gentle way, not trying to like distract yourself or like beat yourself up. Like don't like try to recognize if you start to feel really sad. Like one way that always helped me was I would tell myself, I feel sad, but I am not sad. And I would just repeat that, because it's about not getting attached to your emotions and not letting them become you. Like you're just having these feelings and they'll drift, and another one will come in, kind of like waves, it's going to come in waves. And so you'll have a feeling, and then it's just about like purging and releasing that. And then like not beating yourself up, being gentle with yourself, taking some time to like breathe deeply, like taking some time for yourself. Because I feel like a lot of things are going to be triggered from the past. That's what I'm hearing, is like a lot of things from the past are going to be coming up, and you're going to think that there's a problem right now, that there's a problem right now, but there's no problem. That's something like you're going to feel these feelings, and then your mind's going to try to create something to try to protect you because of the heart opening. And because like if you fear love, that's what like our ego was intended to protect us. And so your mind will try to come up with scenarios and want to try to figure everything out. This is saying like to just let yourself be in that moment. And if this is what happened to me when I was healing emotionally, because I feel like we're learning to heal emotionally, like we're going to like teach ourselves basically. And that's what I did over the last like year and a half, was I just taught myself how to heal emotionally and energetically. So I would just, like I said, like I would be triggered by something and I would cry. And so like I would just cry, or like I would start crying because for no reason. And so but I would just allow myself to cry. I would allow myself the time and space to just cry and get it all out, and then I'd be fine afterwards. And that's how you heal, is like especially with the broken heart, like we have to let our heart break to let the light back in. And so I feel like we don't want to feel this grief, we don't want to feel this sadness. It's been pushed inside of us for so long that like we feel like it's so immense that we're just gonna like suffocate or like drown, and like that's the whole point. That's what makes emotions scary. It's like a representation of water. And so it's really about like just like letting that heartbreak happen. Just like let yourself fall apart. Like if you have like take some time, you just have to let yourself fall apart. That's my biggest like advice. That's what I had to do, is just let myself break and completely break, because when we break we can be built up so much stronger. And like I said, we let the light back in when our heart breaks. And so if you've experienced a lot of trauma and there's a lot of repressed emotions, or it's about like letting yourself feel them and letting yourself flow through them. So like maybe you have a day where you just cry and cry and cry all day. That's okay. Maybe you have to take a day off, maybe you have to tell your friends, no, I can't hang out. So it's just about like allowing like and I feel like this is even coming up for women, like, because I see the two like energies, and there's a lot of fear and broken heart. I feel like in general, all humans are having a really hard time expressing their emotions in a healthy way. Because a lot of us have been taught to repress our emotions. And generally, when you oppress your emotions, you form a habit to like to cope. And because we're consumers, we've been taught to consume, and you can do that like by eating or drinking alcohol or like shopping, overworking. Like there's a lot of things that you like um, we do to distract ourselves and like to consume ourselves and to make ourselves feel this like self gratification, like to make ourselves like immediately happy right now, but then that that fades. And so this is about more like long lasting happiness and how to have like this long lasting happiness, and that comes from healing our emotions so that we're not being controlled by our emotions. Right now our emotions control us. People say things to us and it sends us off, like it could send somebody off like the deep end. And it's like about recognizing like nobody makes you feel any way. They just trigger emotions in you, and then you feel those things. Either it's repressed anger, repressed sadness, whatever repressed emotions you have. Like nobody ever makes you feel a certain way. Like if you have an even mind and you have like a lot of compassion and you've practiced self-compassion, like you'll understand that nobody's making you feel a certain way. You just have these feelings inside you, and that person said something to you that brought that emotion up. But when you recognize your emotions and you know it's not coming from you, you'll be able to have compassion for this person. If this person's being mean to you and trying to intentionally trigger you and trying to like get a rise out of you, like you'll be able to stay calm and you'll be able to walk away, and you'll be able to know that, okay, you have some things that you need to work on, but they're not my fault, like not taking on so many people's emotions for them, so about when to heal emotionally, you'll start to recognize what emotions are yours and what emotions you're taking on for other people. So I feel like with us in general, we're just learning how to heal emotionally, and it can be challenging, it can be scary, especially for the masculine. I feel like that's why a lot of the anxiety card came up. So if you have men in your life and you've noticed a change in behavior, if you just notice something different about them, like try to be understanding, try to like be comforting and be gentle, and like support one another, like men and women. Like there needs to be more supporting and less like envying and tearing down. So I feel like recognize, like if you want to tear somebody down, it's probably coming from like your own insecurity. It's probably coming from your own past pain, your own past hurt. So try to recognize when that's happening. Like if you feel like you need to like attack another person, like with your words, especially because Mercury's in retrograde right now. And so especially, I just feel like a lot of things are going to be triggered, and like people are going to want to say things, but become aware of what you're saying, and you can learn a lot about how you hear yourself talk to other people. Because if you think about it, you see people, or like a lot of men that are like assholes. People want, like if you think of the most degrading asshole man you can think of, you think of him, okay, and he's an asshole to everybody. If you think about how much of an asshole he is to other people, or how he talks to people, imagine how he talks to himself. So that's where you can learn to have compassion. That's what the heart chakra is all about, is having compassion. So if you hear somebody that's talking really mean, and you would consider them to be an asshole, just think about how they talk to themselves, and like be nice to them. Give them more love. That's the whole point, is love. And it's not just romantic love. It's just about being understanding. It's about unconditional love. It's about being compassionate and understanding that people are going through a lot, and people can only function, they can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. I've heard that quote, and I just think it's perfect. So just be like more compassionate and understanding about what these people are going through. Like if you're going through something right now, like think about other people and what they might be going through, and just think about what you say, and make sure you listen to yourself when you're speaking. How do you sound? Do you sound really mean? Like what are you saying? And our words are very meaningful. But we've been made to believe for a really long time that like everything is meaningless. And so, but our words are energy, and they create our existence. And so it's just important to listen how you talk to other people. Because if you think about it, if the way you talk to other people is just a reflection of how you talk to yourself. And so just remember to have compassion for people, because we're all going through this together. We're all in this together, men and women. Like, this is hard. I feel like, not hard. I don't like to use the word hard. It's like a challenge, and it's just like, it's just important to support one another as we go through this like paradigm shift, and to know that like we're not against each other. We've been made to believe for a really long time, it's still like we still have it's unequal, like our rights, and like men and women have been pinned against each other via like society and what we've seen, but like I said, we're both masculine and feminine energy within. So try to think about it like that, because the way you talk to a masculine is how you talk to the masculine within. How you talk to a feminine is how you talk to the feminine within. If you have past pain, past hurt towards a feminine, like you tend to have like resentment and anger towards towards women. But that also internalizes to anger and resentment towards that feminine energy within you, which is important to have, just like your masculine energy is important to have. But if you've been hurt by a masculine and you resent and anger a lot of men, like it comes from like, then you start to, or you don't trust men, then you don't trust that masculine energy within you. And so then that's when you get unbalanced. You don't feel whole, and you feel like abandoned, or you feel like somebody needs to take care of you, or you feel like, you can't do anything alone. And it's just like, but you're both. So once you balance those energies within you, you feel more stable. And that's what it's all about, is like, our root chakra is really being upgraded, and we're realizing that the things that once used to make us safe don't make us feel safe anymore. So it's about creating inner stability, and you do that by balancing out the masculine and feminine energies within you. You feel a lot more stable, you feel whole, and so then you can build a solid foundation from there. Okay, so the next question I asked is, what is hidden to us this week? And I pulled why with Healer of the Ages in reverse. I'm glad this came up, because I feel Christ with us so much. Like, this is Christ consciousness. And so really we're just accessing his consciousness. If you think about Christ, he was, he's an energy. And so, and if you think about him, he was like the ultimate healer of the ages. And so, I feel like a lot of people are like wondering, why is this coming up? Why am I like all of a sudden now having these emotions, or these like sadness coming up? And it's because we're just moving into a more heart-centered, with the heart chakra and that eclipse and that powerful energy. It just opened up our heart chakras. It's like I said, it's the Christ consciousness, and he is the healer. So he's basically teaching us how to heal ourselves. And we do that by healing our emotions. And so that's why a lot of emotions are coming up, is because we're learning how to heal our emotions, and he's here with us to help us on our journey, and I just feel him with me very, very closely. And so I feel like just like what's hidden to us is like, is that he is with us, that energy is with us, is that I feel like it's to help us, to remind us that we are safe, that no matter what we're dealing with right now, and whatever you're facing right now, if you're feeling a lot of emotions, or if you're feeling a lot of, and this doesn't just mean sadness and crying, it means anger and grief. It's just like these things are happening for a deeper reason than we can understand with our human minds right now. So it's really about learning to tap into our feelings and feel our feelings and move from there. And that's perfect, because the next question that I asked is, what's your advice for us this week? And I pulled Yang in the reverse with Appreciation in reverse. And so I feel like the Yang in reverse is like impulsive action. And so like I feel like we're going to have a lot of these things come up. And when I mean things, I mean emotions. We're going to have a lot of emotions come up. And it's going to make us feel very uncomfortable, I feel like. But it's about releasing resistance and learning how to flow. And we can't move yet, is what I hear. It's not time to move yet. Right now it's time to heal and feel. And so that's why the appreciation in reverse comes with the Yang in reverse, I feel, is because it's going to feel kind of like we're stuck, but it's intentional. And it's teaching us how to appreciate what we have and learning how to have gratitude and being in the energy of gratitude. Especially here in America, we have kind of we take everything for granted here. Sometimes people don't even realize how lucky they are. Most of the things that we have in this country that people think are necessities are actually luxuries, and we're very fortunate. And we have food. We have so much food in this country, and it's accessible all the time. I mean, if you go into a gas station, it's just food galore. And so I feel like a lot of people don't recognize how like thankful we should be that we have gas stations, that we have cars, that we have Walmarts. I'm like all the food that we have like in our house, and being thankful that we even have a home, a bed to sleep in, blankets, air conditioning. Like it's like looking at the bigger picture kind of, and like our country is very fortunate, and we have our material world is amazing. The material world is awesome. So we have everything we could ever need here, everything we could ever need. Just about bringing like the spiritual back into this country, because if we had the two, we'd be so much more balanced, and there wouldn't be like so many people suffering and not as many people like doing so great. It would just be more equal, and people would have more equal opportunities and chances to like express themselves. And so I just feel like the advice is, it's not time to move yet. Don't take action yet, but appreciate where you're at right now, because you're always in the perfect spot. You're always right where you're meant to be. You're always right where you're meant to be, and you are learning something from where you're at. Even if it seems like you feel so bogged down with, like, if you're just tired and you're just, you want to give up and you can't deal with these emotions that are coming up, and you just feel like you don't know what to do, you want to run away. And that's what it feels like, is people want to run away. And so I feel like it's about learning to appreciate where you're at. And like people, I feel like, want to jump from here to there and just be there without doing all the stuff in between. And it just doesn't really work like that. That's why it's like, and it can seem overwhelming because you want to get from here to here, and it seems like you have to jump so far. It's not about jumping, it's about taking little steps, every day to get you where you want to be, not being so, don't just blast through it. And that's where it comes, like, taking care of yourself. And we're really, like, I feel like feminine energy, like the emotions, for sure, this week. And so it's about learning, just be grateful for what you have. Like, practice gratitude while you're eating, while, like, every day you should get up, and that should be like part of your morning routine. Or if you get up in the middle of the day, whenever you wake up, you should just really practice like being thankful for everything that you have, because you really are fortunate for all the things you have. We just kind of forget sometimes, because we're so focused on other things, and we're so focused on our problems. We're so focused on our worries and all that we don't have, that we forget how fortunate we are, and how awesome, like, especially this country, like, how fortunate we really are, and all the stuff that we have. And there's just a lot of people that have a lot less than us. But we've just become, like I said, we're very greedy too. And so we just don't think we have enough. And that's going to come up too, is I don't have enough. I'm not doing enough. That's what the impulsive action, I feel like. I'm not doing enough. I'm not making enough money. Like, I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. Stop. Bring yourself back here. Look around you and look at everything you have, and remind yourself to be grateful for everything you have. Think about like where it came from, or who made it, or, it's like, if you like look back, you'll start to like become really grateful, like, about like where things were made and who probably made it. Like, if you just come back to the moment, and when you're in that energy of appreciation, you're just attracting more things to appreciate. So I feel like the advice is, like I said, just learn how to be grateful. Don't take impulsive action, or like speaking even impulsively. I feel like that comes up a lot with the retrograde. Like, I feel like this energy, like, because we're going to feel that like masculine fiery energy too, that is going to want to make us move. And because most of us are in our masculine energy, even if it's the distorted masculine energy, it's like you want to take action, you want to move, you want to do something different. But just take a step back, I feel. and just allow yourself to feel and like observe your feelings and notice your feelings and notice what thoughts come up when you have these feelings. And I just feel like it's about coming more aware. I just feel like we're becoming more aware. And so, like I said, like the veil's lifting. And so we're just noticing things that we should have, that we, just because like, we get kind of lost in the delusion of the world, especially like people that suffer immensely. The more you suffer, the more lost in the delusion of the Maya is what it's called. You get lost in this delusion, and it can seem scary and frightful and fearful because you have a lot, because you're like, your vibration's really low, so you're in the vibration of like fear, which are like lower energies, and so it can make you feel really heavy, and we're kind of letting go of that. And so like we're going to want to cling to this heavy energy, and we're going to want to cling to what's familiar, but what's to come is better than what's going to be released. And sometimes that can be scary because it's unknown. You think we want to think the worst. And I think that's what's coming up is like these past hurts is like, do we want to recreate from the past and all this pain, or do we want to create something new? And we can do that by healing our emotions, healing energetically, raising our vibration. So, and then under the deck, I like these cards too. So under the deck is higher power, seems fitting, with action in reverse again. So the action in reverse is just about taking like little steps to get you where you want to be, like using your intuition to kind of discern when you're supposed to take action, and taking meaningful, inspired action, not just like impulsive action. So it's about like incorporating little daily steps into your life every day. And then under this one, it just feels relevant, so I'm gonna share. But the sun. So this is about like rebirth and new beginnings, and so I just feel like that's relevant, is like because we have to let go of the old before we can have the new, and really releasing resistance, and kind of like learning to like stay put, be grateful for everything that we have, notice when we're lying to ourselves, just becoming more aware of ourselves and our own energy. I'm gonna pull one of these Journey of Love cards really quick because I just feel called to, and I really like them. And this is like a journey of love, but it's not like necessarily like a love from another person. It's just about a love from yourself. It's like divine love. So like divine romance, and it's with yourself. And when you can have like a divine romance with yourself and with the divine, with God, and then that's when the divine partnership comes, So it's really about like having it within first and then attracting it without. So let me pull one of these. What do we need to know week of July 29th through August 4th? Some message. Okay. So I pulled Sacred Convergence. Let me read it here really quick. There is a coming together happening within your body and soul, a unification of all that is within you. This is akin to traveling to a strange land, as all sorts of new sensations, not all welcome at first, begin to make themselves known to you. If you are experiencing discomfort within your own body, or uncertainty and a sense of expansion to include more of life in your thoughts and feelings, then you are conscious of this sacred convergence. It is like two worlds or more colliding. If you are sensitive, you will feel it happening as an important event without necessarily having a physical situation to attribute to the experience or upon which to hang an explanation. You may also be encountering this in a very physical sense by finding yourself in situations in which you previously would have avoided. You may be meeting people and thrown into relationships with them, apparently more by circumstance than by your own conscious choosing. This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in. Even if it is uncomfortable at times, be gentle and loving with yourself and kindly seek to find the beauty in what you are learning about yourself in your interactions and experiences. You are a wise soul, seeking to know yourself rather than judge others. Remember your divine perfection as you are thrilled and challenged in this time of great growth. You are guided to be curious, as though traveling to a foreign land, and remaining open to experiencing its treasures. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry, you are a unique plant in the divine garden. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. When you can see over time the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you, it will be a revelation to be relished. And then from the poem, I love the poems. From the white foam on a surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves. Wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty, as land gives way to water and water to the unknown. Okay, that was just a perfect ending, perfect message. So, like I said, if you're feeling this, just like release resistance, kind of just feel it and just go with it. I hope this was helpful, and I'm sending lots of love. Have a great week.